Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. The Chris Voss Show. Hey, welcome to the podcast, guys. We certainly appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to refer the show to your friends, neighbors, relatives. Be sure to go to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Holy crap, there's so many different places to get the Chris Voss Show. We're on Deezer. It just seems like every platform now has a podcast, so be sure to check those out. We, of course, have the 8 podcasts you can check out at thecvpn.com or Chris Voss Podcast Network. You can see all the different wide array of podcasts we have there. Today, we're going to be talking about some companies that are going to Fabtech 2019, the fabtechexpo.com. You can check it out. We're going to be there covering the show. This is going to be November 11th through 14th, and you're going to be able to see all this really cool technology that's going on. And we're seeing a lot of disruption in this technological manufacturing world. A lot of people think of manufacturing and they think of like U.S. Steel and it dirty sort of business. Now everything's really being disrupted in a technical sort of fashion where robots and different things are being brought to the forefront and really changing the way and face of this whole sort of industry. So this is really exciting. We've interviewed a few people from Fabtech so far, so be sure to check that out. Today, we're interviewing OnRobot. You can go to OnRobot.com. OnRobot delivers a full line of plug and produce end-of-arm tooling for collaborative applications. Their innovative grippers, sensors, and tool changers help manufacturers gain the full advantages of collaborative and lightweight industrial robots. This includes ease of use, cost effectiveness, and safety alongside human workers. And today, I'm joined by their General Manager of the Americas, Christian Holgard. Christian, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Chris.
Welcome to the show. Are you excited for the big show tomorrow?
Absolutely. We're all set up. We're ready. We're got the business cards ready. Everything's set up, and we're ready for the show.
Make sure you got that hand cleaner to sanitize your hands and don't touch your nose and mouth and all that good stuff. You can see OnRobot. They're going to be at Fabtech. They're going to be at booth number A1400. So put that in your show schedule if you're on the Fabtech website there in your notes, so you can check that out. So you guys are going to Fabtech. Give us a little bit of rundown on who OnRobot is and what you guys take and do.
Well, the simple answer to that is we're manufacturer of end-of-arm tools, sensors, and peripheral equipment around the robot to create a collaborative application. We produce grippers, sensors, tool changers, and a lot more technologies to come here in the last part of this year and next year. So that's the easy answer.
You guys have a lot of videos that are really cool on your guys' website, and you guys, from what I understand, you guys have tried to create an all-in-one sort of robot that can be used from all different variations of manufacturing.
Yeah, we don't produce the actual robot, but we work with, and that what's quite unique is that we work with any robot out there.
Okay.
So we've created a what we call the one system solution, and this is also what we're going to be showcasing as the new release here at Fabtech. The one system solution kind of gives the user one user experience no matter what robot he uses. In an application, from an application standpoint, there are 100 different robots, there are 100 different types of grippers. There's so many items and parts that the manufacturing companies or the engineering companies, they have to know about and catalog and make heads and tails out of all this chaos of parts and items and what goes on what. And we've kind of unified for our system and for the grippers and sensors and the technologies that we produce. We unified that and now can be used on any robot platform.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So now you guys have formed a collaboration of different companies, correct?
Yes. So OnRobot, as we know it today, came out of a merger between three companies. So we pride ourselves of being born global. Mm-hmm. The three companies was a Danish company called OnRobot, and a Hungarian company called Optoforce, and lastly an American company out of California called Perception Robotics.
Oh wow.
These three companies all have their different high-end technologies and products, and we chose to merge these three companies into what we today call OnRobot.
Wow.
After the merger, we then acquired two additional companies, the Purple Robotics and Blue Workforce, also both of them coming out of Europe. They've both added technologies and products to our current portfolio, and their R&D together with the current R&D is now developing new products, new technologies for the release in here late 19 and all 2020.
Nice. So you guys put this together. You guys are a collaboration of all these mind meld of these wonderful brains in the robotics industry. And like I mentioned in my introduction, a lot of people, they still think of manufacturing and different things as this old sort of hard work, blue collar, labor intensive stuff. And what you guys are showcasing there at Fabtech is the new way of manufacturing that's very highly technical. It's computer driven, computer code driven, and all these different aspects of making it a new, clean, technology based society where you don't have to go down to the coal mine anymore to make coal, basically.
Yeah, and well, there's one thing that definitely we're starting to see more and more automation, right? But I think the first revolution of this new style manufacturing was born when the collaborative robot was introduced. And basically, the difference between, just to have everybody on the same level here, the difference between a more traditional industrial robot and a collaborative robot is, number one, safety. The collaborative robot can work side by side with humans. Whereas the traditional industrial will have to be caged in because it's very powerful and doesn't have safety features. The other side of the collaborative robot, and that's even more important now, I think, is the ease of use. The collaborative robots today, they're like picking up an iPad, right? You don't want to read the manual. You just want to kind of teach the robot what to do, to teach it some points, and then, use it as you buy it. You don't want to read the manual, so the deployment time for automation in general has been decreased significantly since the born of these collaborative robots. So to kind of set the scene here, U.S. manufacturing is seeing a huge labor shortage, and to go hand in hand with what you said about people not walking down the coal mine. That's definitely correct. However, you always have to have people in the manufacturing space, and to optimize the automation, being able to work alongside humans, that is revolutionary.
And I think the big use case too for these things that you guys are building is small to mid-sized companies can get in on this robotics automation game.
That's correct.
They don't have to have $1 billion budget, and they don't have to bring in, like you say, these giant. I've seen the robots that build the cars, and you don't want to be any near those things when they're flipping around.
Oh, definitely not.
They'll rip your head off.
Yeah.
So
sorry, go ahead.
They'll be like, "Hey, Scab, you're taking my job, you human. This is my job. I'm the robot." You're like, wait.
I think most people will be surprised to see the split between the total manufacturing capacity of United States and how much that goes to small and medium-sized enterprises. It's actually, as far as I remember, it's actually the majority. It's more than 50% of the total manufacturing comes from small and medium-sized enterprises.
Wow.
And that historically hasn't been addressed with complex automation and robots, whereas now we can. And of course now I'm doing a lot of or giving a lot of credit to the robot manufacturers here, but so I was talking about the first revolution in the new modern automation industry, right? I think the next step, or I know the next step, is to make the whole application collaborative. When you're talking about installing a robot, what is a robot good for if it doesn't have a tool, if it doesn't have whatever products that activates or gives it the possibility or the option to solve the task instead of just moving around. A robot arm is useless without the tool.
Mhm.
So historically, the tool has also been very complex, very engineering heavy. Every tool had to be engineered from the ground up. You had to involve engineering companies to customize your tool. They had to traditionally use pneumatics, compressed air to make the gripper go on and off, and so on and so forth. Now, our vision and the trend in the market, it's not only our view on it, but we can see this is where it's going. The end users and the engineering companies, they focus more and more on the products as on the robot as much as the robot.
Mhm.
So, meaning, if you have to spend all those engineering hours that you saved installing the robot on designing a tool, then kind of the value of the whole application, it disappears, right?
Mhm.
You want the tool, you want the sensors, you want the cameras, all these products in the application, you want them as easy to use and safe as use as the actual collaborative robot.
Yeah, definitely safe.
Yeah, and that's what we focus on. This is where it's going. I've seen the report from IFR the other day, and they are usually quite conservative in their forecast, and they forecasted 10 times as many robots installed in the Americas in 5 years.
Wow, it's
Yeah,
going to be huge then.
It's huge, but you have to ask yourself, how am I, even if I'm an end user, meaning the manufacturing company, but also the engineering companies installing the robots, how am I going to reach that growth? Will I, hire 10 times as many engineers or 10 times as many salespeople if I'm an integrator or something like that? Probably not.
Mhm.
No one's gonna go out and ramp up that way. The only way you can deal with growth and access that growth is to minimize the time from buying all your parts and deploying the robots in the manufacturing floor. And the only way you can do that is to find products that are standardized, that solves 9 out of 10 of your problems, easy installable, plug and produce, as you said in the opening talk. You need to just plug and play.
There you go. I mean, that's the way to do it. And the simplification of this being, everyone's familiar with how to work iPads and tablets and phones, and where you can program these robots very simply through, an iPad extension or whatever you guys use for your thing. It's all computerized and it's all pre-programmed, and you can just put it together and away you go.
Yep.
That's huge. I mean, you don't have to go to college for, an engineering degree, which is really important, right?
Yeah, it's very important. And that I think there's another skepticism, if that's the right word, towards automation and robots, and that is Martha, that's been sitting and doing a tedious job down at the manufacturing line, she'll be losing her job because they've now put in a robot. When in reality, it's actually quite the opposite. What's happening when we see our customers using the robots, using our products, she's not going to be doing the tedious, repetitive work anymore. She will be re-educated and now operating maybe 4 or 5 different robots and having a new job instead. The labor the need of labor is still there. We just need to do it smarter and more effectively. If we in the West want to be competitive towards low labor cost countries, we have to look at manufacturing. We have to look at automating tasks that are repetitive and for the manual labor, and then re-educating our labor to run this automation instead.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful part. You don't have to have an engineering degree. You can learn very easily, and that's where the jobs are going to come from this. So many people are like, oh, automation is going to take away everyone's jobs. The beautiful part about it too is it's going to teach Rosie the Riveter to have a technical job instead of a manual labor job, and she'll be able to work with computers. And from what I'm hearing from our interviews from Fabtech, is there's a huge glut of people that know how to deal with these robots and work them, which creates a great job opportunity with a huge roof to it that you're never going to hit, probably, of people that can learn this business. And if you're few and far between, you're going to get paid a lot of money to do it. And it's not that technical. Like I say, you don't have to get an engineering degree. I mean, this sounds brilliant for a lot of people. And in some of our discussions, some of the different people that have gone to Fabtech, they said one of the reasons for the glut of employees in the industry is there's that negative connotation of the dirtiness of the old style of manufacturing. Here in Utah, where I'm right now, we used to have Geneva Steel, which was one of the U.S. steel places. And people would go to the smelter and come home covered in filth and dirt, and there was it was hot and there was smelting, all that sort of stuff that was going on. And so people kind of have that, conjure up that image, and they're like, I don't want to go in that business. But a lot of these millennials, a lot of these Gen Zers, they're all really familiar with like coding, the computers, laptops. I mean, geez, you can go to work and look at your look at an iPad all day long. It'll be on robotics, but it'll still be technical and cool. And then it's not a labor sort of business. It's a cerebral, intelligent technology business.
Yeah, and let's face it, more and more jobs, more and more industries are being computerized in the way that we haven't worked more with computers than we are today. Mm-hmm. This is, and we keep peaking every year. Manufacturing will be the same way.
Yeah.
Whether we like it or not, well, I think most people do like this change, right? Mm-hmm. It definitely has both safety and health benefits to the manufacturing industry that we're automating many of the manual labor tasks now.
Mm-hmm. Do you see robots help bring back a revolution of a resurgence, if you will, of manufacturing in the U.S.? Do you think you see that help make that a comeback, if you will?
Well, what I can say is that the industries, the types of technologies let me rephrase it. Robots and technology and all the products that are now being used and made for that purpose is being represented in all types of industries we never thought they would be used in. So whether it's agriculture, R&D, I mean, I've seen brain surgery robots with some of our sensors in, exoskeletons to help elderly people walk better, all sorts of products and end results we had no idea we would access. When we were talking, when our start idea was, okay, we're going to make some products so we can help, machine tending applications with robots, or pick and place jobs, or packaging. These are kind of the normal robotic automation tasks, right? And now seeing the result of the technology we've been promoting and manufacturing, used in all sorts of different very, very, very high-tech industries and end products. I think that's a fantastic trend that we see, that more and more technology will be added to all sorts of types of end uses, right?
And the beautiful part is these robots, they can work for long periods of time. The money that you save as a business in healthcare costs and the taxes that you have to pay and different things like that over time, et cetera, et cetera. These robots, they can work 24/7. I mean, they can
absolutely,
they can rock and roll. They never get tired. They don't need breaks. I'm not saying everyone should get employed. Robots should take over the world, because there's probably a robot that's going to start podcasting soon. But in fact, we were joking about having a robot co-host during the show. We were like, maybe we should get somebody's robot to be the co-host during Fabtech. But
it's a good idea.
I nixed the idea because I don't want any robots getting any ideas. No, I'm just kidding.
I think that what's cool about this is another thing that's cool about it is that it doesn't matter what size company you are, and the robot or the automation part will have different impacts, right? if we're talking about macro, the big, huge corporations and car manufacturers and all, it's all about being competitive towards other countries with lower labor cost and being able to be with your car or whatever product you're producing, be competitive in the world market, right? But then we can zoom down on this small machine shop, mom and pop shop, in the somewhere in the middle of the Bible Belt, and they have two machines producing small parts for a big machine somewhere in another company, right? So they installed the robot, and instead of them working one shift where they can produce 8 hours a day, now they have a robot, so they've been tripling their productivity by being able to work 24 hours a day.
Yep. No breaks,
right? And
lunches.
That's the thing. And it has a massive impact no matter what scale you're going to look at it at.
Yeah. The only problem is what if these robots become self-aware like Terminator and then they form their own union? Then you got a whole new problem. You got a robot union. Problem.
Yeah, we gotta rise against the robot union
when it goes full Skynet. So anyway, yeah, it's gonna be really cool. I think it's gonna help manufacturing in the U.S. I think it's gonna. I don't know if it'll put us in league of competing with China, because China just has these huge bases of people. But definitely, I mean, even China is moving to automation robots. I know Foxconn, which produces a lot of the phones, including the iPhone, is moving towards automation as well. Automation is going to be good, and I like the fact that it's very easy to retool current workers that are doing manual labor in a blue collar field can suddenly become white collar, where they're running technical jobs and using and learning new skills that are cerebral. So that's just awesome. And for a lot of these people that that they don't have to go to college for 8 years to become an engineer and all that kind of stuff that you have to do to become an engineer.
We definitely bring the technology down to a more reasonable user level. And you'd see that with all technology, right? The first computer we've seen, you had to be a scientist to operate that thing, right? And today you pick up any phone or any computer, everybody can use it. Automation is going exactly the same way.
So on your guys' website, you guys have different variations of different grippers. You've got vacuum grippers, force torque sensors on 6-axis wheels, quick changers, dual quick changers. These attached to just any robot sort of thing?
Yeah, so the idea, again, behind our whole portfolio of products, whether it's the 6-axis force torque sensor, the vacuum gripper, or the servo-based gripper, is that we want the user to get the product, take it out of the box, and out of the box, it should be plug and play. You should plug it on the robot, install it in 15 minutes, and then from there, it should be able to solve 9 out of 10 of his problems.
Wow.
Within the specifications of the gripper, right?
Wow.
So the idea, to give you an idea, kind of setting the scene again here, traditionally, a gripper would be made on pneumatic power, right? You have a compressor, and the compressor makes the gripper go on and off, gripping that specific part that the gripper is designed for. So we've designed an electric gripper instead with a motor, and we don't use compressed air, so there's a cost saving in that aspect. You don't have any compressor you need to pay power of, or tube leaks where you have to maintain the system, all that. It's simply running off the robot's power.
Wow.
So in regards to functionality, whether you are gripping part A or part B, let's see, one day you're gripping a 1-inch product, and the other day you need to grip a 2-inch product. Well, traditionally, with the pneumatic type gripper, you would have to change the physical appearance of the gripper because the fingers wouldn't match anymore. The actual gripper is meant to grip at 1 inch and not a 2-inch. Whereas the electric gripper that we produce, that's simply a software setting saying, hey, now instead of gripping that 1 inch, you grip the 2-inch. And and this is a huge thing again for small and medium-sized enterprises. I mean, the typical manufacturing, small and medium-sized enterprise, is like a high mix and low volume production, right? They have a lot of different parts. They want to be agile in the market. If something changes, they want to be able to change their product to meet the market demands. And if you're running with the traditional automation, you would need to call an engineering company every time you would need to make the slightest of changes in that application.
And whether have to go retool your whole thing, and
that's the thing, right? So retool it, reprogram it, all these things. Now we've done it so easy that the guy that used to sit and do the packaging himself, now he can reprogram and reset the robot application with the tool, retool it, whatever, or change the software setting so that it now fits the new product.
Awesome sauce. So these different devices can do pick and place application, machine tending, packaging and palletizing, assembly work, quality testing and inspection, surface finishing, etc. I saw on your website you have all these videos, and they're doing like a million different things. This is crazy, all the stuff they can take and do.
Yeah, it's basically whatever you can think of in regard to application. We can supply as some sort of product to assist that application.
Awesome.
And more, as I touched base on it a little earlier, we've seen creativity in regard to using the products like crazy. I mean, applications and products we never thought about using our products, they're using it now. So it's fantastic.
I need to get me a robot that picks the dishes out of the sink and puts them in the dishwasher. That's a robot.
I mean, the most popular one, both at trade shows but also at company parties, is of course the beer pouring robot. And we've tried it numerous times. Where the robot is programmed to serve a draft beer. It's fantastic.
That's what I want. The bartender robot.
Now we just need to take it the next step and get the vacuum cleaning robot and the dishwashing.
We've got the vacuum cleaning robots here. We review those. Those get sent to the show. We've got a number of different makers that send them, and our whole house is filled with them. There's one on the upstairs, one's on the low stairs, and then a bartender robot where I could be just like, make me a Mai Tai, make me a screwdriver, make me a Long Island iced tea. That would be awesome. And
they're already working out there, Chris. I think it's somewhere in Asia. I already saw the video of this robot basically mounted on a wall, and you press the button for the drink you wanted, and it would mix it up for you. I mean, that's impressive.
Here's what would probably happen though if I asked a robot bartender for a screwdriver. I'm like, "Hey, can you make me a screwdriver?" And they'd hand me this.
They'll give you.
No. I understand that's your technical brother. In the field of robotics, but I want something with orange juice and vodka in it.
Well, I guess there's also something good about having real people at certain jobs still.
It worked out really well. I didn't know that having that screwdriver by my desk was going to end up as a prop for the show, but serendipity, there it is. So you guys are going to have your booth at the show. What's going to be going on the booth? What do you want people to see there? It's at booth A1400 for those of you who might be joining the show midway. A1400, and of course you can see them at Fabtech. Well, what are some cool you guys are going to be doing at the show that make people want to come by?
I mean, of course, we have the giveaways, and we have all the promotional stuff that you're welcome to come and pick up. We got caps and polo shirts and pens and all that. But if you're more interested in looking at the products and the functionality, we do have 2 robots on our booth with our new one system solution mounted on it. And basically you can walk into the booth and you can click on and click off any tool on the robot and then try to either program them or get a demonstration on how to program it anyway.
Yeah, this might be a new career for me, man. If I ever need a new career, I'm probably going to go into this because it sounds like it's going to pay well. There's going to be huge demand for me, and everything else. I mean, if you're one of those Gen Zers who's concerned about how much you're going to pay for college and stuff, and you want to work in a technical field, this sounds like a great sort of business to be in, because you'd be in high demand. It doesn't require a huge amount of schooling to go into. You know, I never graduated from high school. I started my first company when I was 18, so I just kind of skipped the whole learn stuff, clearly. If anybody's ever watched if anybody's ever read, anytime we're trying to spell something, they're like, you went to public school, didn't you? But no, you know, whatever. Public school still good.
But it's true. If you do have a technical interest in you want to go and start working instead of reading books for the rest of your life, it's a good way of coming into the manufacturing industry and start working with robots. I mean, who wouldn't like to work with robots? That's pretty cool in my mind.
Then you can post those pictures on your Instagram, Gen Zers, and people will be like, whoa, he's a cool Instagrammer and a robot dude.
It's probably, I'm probably not really allowed to tell this story, but when I was a lot younger, I worked for a robot manufacturing company, and I traveled around with my robot. It was always in the back of my car because that was my job. And one day I was, as you are in your early 20s, you're going to a party somewhere, and I set up the robot, and I won a beer pong tournament with the robot.
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Hey, there you go.
The robot hit the cups every time, you know.
You're gonna have fraternities dialing your guys' number off your website now. Hey man, how do we get a hold of these? Because the grippers are designed to work like fingers, so
absolutely.
You can get that perfect toss on that thing there.
Oh yes. So, and if my previous employer listens in, then please forgive me. That's a great recruiting tool. You guys could go to colleges and be like, hey man, look what you can do with the you want to play with robots, play some beer pong. Yeah,
I actually, if I were you, I would have made that a job. I just want to tour around the country and win beer pong tournaments. Put everyone bet, hey, who can beat the robot, basically.
If you can make a living out of it, why not? Yeah.
It's kind of like when IBM, they roll out that Watson. They trying to get people to beat it on Jeopardy.
I saw that.
And chess. So there you go. So it sounds like it's going to be really cool. You guys can go by the booth. It's A1400 at the Fabtech show. It's going to be in Chicago, Illinois. I just got an email from Fabtech. It looks like next year they might be in Vegas.
Yeah, I think is it changing every second year or something? I can't remember.
Yeah. So I'll look forward to that because I love Vegas. I love shows in Vegas. There's just so much. The great thing about, and Chicago is a great place too. I mean, you guys have wonderful hotels and a beautiful city, extraordinary city of Chicago. And don't forget the pizza.
The deep style.
Yeah. Anytime I go to Chicago, I get the pizza. And it's good, and then I have to spend the next 5 months working it off. So it's going to be cool. You guys can go see them. The show will be opening tomorrow, November 11th through the 14th. Give these guys a run by so you can see all the cool stuff they're doing, pepper with questions, and pick up your free swag, whatever they got there at the unit. Anything more we need to know about what you guys are doing there at OnRobot?
I think we got it covered quite well. I'll be at the show from Wednesday and Thursday. My dear colleagues will be there from opening. So drop in, come by for a chat. Whether it's going to be discussing what we talked about today or just seeing a product demo, we're here. We're there to help you guys. So see you there.
Sounds good. You can go to OnRobot.com to check out all the stuff they're doing there. They got some really cool videos so you can see all the stuff that's on there. They even got, looks like you guys got some career available jobs opening. So if you're looking for different work, you can check those guys out. And they have a huge company, a ton of people that are working with them. So this should be pretty freaking awesome. And I like how you guys design a product that can be used with any robot. So that makes it so that all they got to do is slap the end on and away you go.
Thank you.
Well, Christian, thanks for being on the show. We certainly appreciate our audience being here. Be sure to refer the show to your friends, neighbors, relatives. Go to the CVPN. Check out all the different podcasts that we have there. There's 8 now. Holy crap. We've got some shows that are going to be covering up. We're covering up our shows. We're hiding them. We don't want the police to see them. We'll be covering a whole mess of new things. And of course, we've got the MJ conference that's coming up in December, and we've got CES show, the CES show that's going to be coming up as well. So be sure to check all those wonderful things out as we roll them out. Thanks for everyone tuning in for my audience, and we'll see you next time.